concludes. Today's event is the IEEE-HKN Awards and Recognition Ceremony, sponsored by DigiKey. If you would like to post on Facebook about this event, please use the hashtags #HKNExperience and HKNx2020. At this time, I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Karen Panetta.
Hello, everybody. I am so excited to be with you here. We are on day 11 of the first ever IEEE-HKN experience. We've had 32 sessions, 59 speakers, and over 500 attendees for hours upon hours of engaging and thought-provoking presentations. But now's the pinnacle, the cherry on top of this most ambitious endeavor, our 2020 Awards and Recognition Ceremony. I am honored to be the 2019 IEEE Eta Kappa Nu President. And first, let me thank our 2020 IEEE-HKN President, Ed Resnick, who gave me this opportunity and this distinct honor to host today's event. I also want to thank our conference sponsor, DigiKey Electronics, for its generous and continuous support and commitment to engineering students and education. The 2020 experience has provided countless numbers of aha moments. We learned that Bob Metcalfe, inventor of the Ethernet, has a new passion: sustainable, affordable, renewable energy. We got a look inside of the birth of the internet from one of its forefathers, Len Kleinrock, who just opened a gorgeous UCLA Connection Lab to help realize the vision of creating high-leverage technologies, as was accomplished years ago with the internet. Many of you learned what's next in technology and what new jobs are on the horizon. Many of us got expert advice on searching for jobs, acing virtual interviews, and how to care for ourselves and our friends and loved ones during a pandemic. Several hardy souls ventured into the Among Us arena, and others enjoyed our Halloween games. All of us gained knowledge and got insight into various fields and technology connected with our global HKN family. I cannot think of a better way to celebrate HKN's 116th birthday, the 10th anniversary of HKN's merger with IEEE, and all of our chapters and members. 2020 has served up its share of challenges on a global scale. Not only did our student and alumni members face these challenges, they conquered them and set best practices for everybody else to follow. They created programs to help others through community service, helped grow the HKN family by inducting new members or becoming charter members of the 4 new chapters that we installed this year. They work tirelessly to keep members engaged and active. They give their time, talent, and even monetary support to ensure that IEEE-HKN Eta Kappa Nu continued to operate and thrive. This IEEE-HKN experience was for you. It was a time when the entire society, its partners and friends, old and new, came together for a common goal. We used the inventions of our members, the internet, wired and wireless networking, chip design, and so many others to educate, inform, and entertain the rest of society, and hopefully to support and empower the next generation of brilliant engineers. So let's take a quick look back at the 2020 HKN experience. Awesome. That was terrific. We get some famous people, some really great eminent members that helped us with all of this. So I think that, our virtual applause to all of our attendees and everybody who helped make that a reality. So right now at this time, I just want to talk a little bit about I'll be introducing Nancy Austin in a bit. But right now I want to introduce someone who has been a great mentor for me, for HKN, and for the world. And I am truly honored to introduce Dr. Asad M. Madni to offer a keynote address. Dr. Madni is an inspiration to all of us, a scholar, a philanthropist, and a true gentleman. Asad embodies the three tenets of Eta Kappa Nu: scholarship, attitude, character. He has served as president, COO, and CTO of BEI Technologies, Inc. from 1992 until 2006. He led the development and commercialization of intelligent sensors and systems for the aerospace, industrial, and transportation industries, including the servo control system for the Hubble Space Telescope Star Selector, which provided Hubble with unprecedented accuracy and stability, resulting in images that enhanced our understanding of the universe. And MEMS gyrochip technology used worldwide for electronic stability control and rollover protection in passenger vehicles, thereby saving millions of lives every year. Dr. Madni is a Life Fellow, IEEE Life Fellow, IEEE-HKN Eminent Member of the National Academy of Engineering, and Fellow of the National Academy of Inventors, and a member of the Royal Academy. Since 2011, he is a UCLA ECE Distinguished Adjunct Professor and Distinguished Scientist, Faculty Fellow at the Institute of Transportation Studies, and he's also the namesake of the IEEE Eta Kappa Nu's highest honor. Dr. Madni, on behalf of the IEEE-HKN Board of Governors, I thank you for your unwavering support and dedication to our honor society. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce you to Dr. Asad M. Madni.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's truly an honor, a privilege, and above all, a very humbling experience. It certainly would not have been possible without some extraordinary individuals that have touched my life in numerous ways. There were those that inspired, motivated, supported, and believed in me. And then there were the skeptics, who by virtue of their characteristic perspicacity challenged me by trying to convince me that some of the most successful, innovative, scientific, and technical concepts that I proposed could not be done. As I reflect upon my 40-plus years of professional engineering experience, I cannot help but recognize the important part that the IEEE and the IEEE-HKN have played in helping me achieve my professional objectives. From keeping me abreast of the latest advances in my field through the publications and conferences, to allowing me to interact with some of the greatest minds in our nation, some of whom are present here today. Our generation is leaving behind a most paradoxical legacy to the generation following us. We are providing them with unprecedented advances in technology that have the potential to revolutionize the world in as yet unimagined ways. We are also leaving behind a world in turmoil. We are bequeathing them with a far better understanding of the universe than we ever thought possible. Advances in medical science and healthcare that will continue to improve the quality and longevity of life, and a far greater awareness of the universe and our planet and our environment than we have ever done before. We are also leaving behind global poverty, global warming, shortage of energy and water, ethical violations and the total economic collapse of world financial systems, and major ongoing conflicts that their generation will have to address. The legacy of the generation following us may be best described by what Charles Dickens stated in the start of his novel, A Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. And it was the winter of despair. As I look forward, however, I'm thoroughly convinced more than ever that engineers, technologists, and scientists will be called upon to carry and advance the banner of human progress. The United States National Academy of Engineering, at the request of the National Science Foundation, convened a group and a committee of engineers and scientists who are some of the most prominent and accomplished minds of their generations in order to identify the grand challenges that face engineering for humanity. The committee proposed 14 grand challenges, but did not rank them, nor did they endorse any particular approach to solving them. Instead, they proposed challenges that they believed were achievable and sustainable for people and the planet to thrive. Their recommendations were reviewed by a panel of 51 subject matter experts, by eminent engineers and scientists, and the general public. The challenges range from making solar power economical to providing clean access to water, and from advances in healthcare informatics and reverse engineering the brain to engineering the tools of scientific discovery. It is my earnest desire and my fervent hope that the next generation of engineers, the young engineers of today, under the direction and guidance of the IEEE, academic institutions, and professional societies, will each, in his or her own specific way, address these challenges, thereby improving the human condition and advancing our civilization. Before I conclude, I'd like to point out to you two reports that were published by the U.S. National Academy of Engineering. They were entitled The Engineer of 2020 and Educating the Engineer of 2020. These reports analyze the global dynamics, societal needs, and the changing expectations of science and technology research in order to determine the attributes that will be necessary for the engineer of 2020, as well as the transformation that educational institutions will have to undergo in order to educate and train these engineers. I quote to you the last paragraph of the first report. It says, "He or she will aspire to have the ingenuity of Lillian Gilbreth, the problem-solving capabilities of Gordon Moore, the scientific insight of Albert Einstein, the creativity of Pablo Picasso, the determination of the Wright brothers, the leadership abilities of Bill Gates, the conscience of Eleanor Roosevelt, the vision of Martin Luther King, and the curiosity and wonder of our grandchildren." This is quite a challenge, as I'm sure you all appreciate, but I'm confident that with the focused vision of the IEEE and the IEEE-HKN and the transformational interdisciplinary educational foundation with which our academic institutions are training the next generation of engineers, they will be prepared to address these challenges with excitement and with creativity. Thank you.
Wow, I have goosebumps. I want to thank you, Dr. Next, I'd like to introduce Nancy Asad from IEEE-HKN.
Well, hello, Karen, and hello to everyone. And thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's really my pleasure to be here with all of you as well. I get the great pleasure to talk to you about our Founders Day, which we just celebrated our 116th birthday. In 1904, under the shady tree of the campus on the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, the founders of Eta Kappa Nu set forth to create an honor society, one that by invitation would recognize scholarship, attitude, and character. The vision of these inspired young men was to promote the highest ideals of engineering profession and form an organization where professionals and students help each other. Founders Day is a way for us to share the Eta Kappa Nu story, raise awareness of the value of IEEE Eta Kappa Nu chapters that they bring to our university, and show the many ways our chapters serve fellow students in the community, and how they encourage industry to support us. Today's IEEE Eta Kappa Nu students are the leaders of tomorrow. This year, we invited our chapters to participate in a video competition. We named it We Are In This Together, to share how they were celebrating Founders Day at their individual campuses and how they're continuing to serve their communities despite the year that we find ourselves in. 13 chapters entered the contest, each with a unique and fun submission. All of the videos can be found on the IEEE Eta Kappa Nu Facebook page, and all members were invited to vote for their favorites. We want to congratulate the Mu Beta chapter at the Arab Academy for Science and Technology and Maritime Transport for winning that contest. Each chapter received $100 in IEEE-HKN store credit, and Mu Beta will receive an additional $100. Let's take a look at the great mashup of these great videos that we got this year. We're all in this together.
Eta Kappa Nu. HKN.
I find it to be a unique and one-in-a-lifetime opportunity to connect, socialize, and engage with the top engineering students within your department, but not only within your local organization, but also with the entire world.
What I like about being a part of IEEE here at BU is how we are able to be a community where engineering students can stay connected in this pandemic.
A lot of things occurred this year. It began just like any other. Then everything changed. It is now a new world we live in, a world of pandemic.
This past year, however, has had a number of new challenges due to COVID-19.
I'm very proud of our members, the department, and the university for their continued support as we go through these uncertain times.
I know it's really easy to feel with everything being virtual that we are completely alone.
Unfortunately, with COVID, we don't have many opportunities this year.
During the pandemic, it has been difficult for students to interact socially.
However,
we have transitioned into a hybrid platform, which is very new for all of us.
All operations this semester have been moved online and scheduled in such a way that everyone across time zones can be a part.
To combat this, we started a Discord channel for our home electrical and computer engineering department. Students were invited to join the channel to meet others and get help with their homework. Professors have also been invited to join the channel to create a homely academic atmosphere, even when we may not be at home in Las Cruces. We have also held
And so one of the things our chapter tried to do was we had a virtual Jeopardy night so that we could all gather together, even if it was virtually.
In a strange sense, the pandemic has made us stronger, helped us look for alternate ways to do things, and brought us closer together. We are now providing tutoring services, organizing webinars, workshops, discussions, and more to enhance the students' experience.
All in this together.
Embodying the phrase, we are in this together.
Ultimately, this has been a tough year, but it is important to remember that we are all in this together.
The conditions we are operating in are not ideal. However, we are and always will be committed to promoting scholarship, character, and attitude.
Well, wasn't that great, Karen? Really enjoyed it, and thank all the chapters who participated in putting together those videos. Really doing an awesome job, and we appreciate all that they're doing on behalf of their communities.
It's amazing that our students are so talented and that we're all panicking and yet they're taking the bull by the horns and forging their own new pathways. So I'm really proud of all of our students, and thank everybody for all your mentorship, and thank our students for leading the way for others to follow. At this time, I just want to let our alumni know that you can reconnect, and there's a resource tab at the bottom of your screen. And if you want to reconnect with HKN and be a mentor for some of our students, or maybe give a talk on one of their initiatives, we would really love to have you participate. And students really appreciate everything that you do for them. So on behalf of all our HKN chapter students, I want to thank everybody, for all our alumni, for your continued support and interest and engagement in HKN. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our IEEE HKN Awards Chair, and that Lorena Garcia is here with us today to help us introduce our award winners. Lorena?
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Karen. It is my honor to present to you the recipients of our 2020 awards. Dr. Ming, founder, chairman, and CEO of Fulgent Genetics, Inc. and Fulgent Pharma, is the recipient of IEEE-HKN's highest honor, IEEE-HKN Asad Madni Outstanding Technical Achievement and Excellence Award for innovations in and commercialization of biometric identification systems and transformational contributions to modern engineering education. Dr. Bruce Eisenstein, the Arthur J. Rowland Professor of Electrical and Computer Engineering at Drexel University and 2010 IEEE-HKN President, is the recipient of the IEEE-HKN Distinguished Service Award for his exemplary volunteer service to the IEEE-HKN organization and its professional community. Dr. Jennifer Marley, Assistant Professor of Electrical and Computer Engineering, Valparaiso University, is the recipient of the C. Holmes MacDonald Outstanding Teaching Award for her excellence as a teacher, her contributions to the scholarship of teaching, and her mentoring of undergraduate research students. I extend my sincerest congratulations to our winners and thank them to their contributions to IEEE-HKN and to society at large. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to introduce our first presenter. It's Dr. Tagao will introduce our first recipient and her accomplishments. Dr. Tagao?
Thank you, Karen. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Jennifer Marley, the recipient of the C. Holmes MacDonald Outstanding Teaching Award. Dr. Marley received her bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from North Carolina State University and her master's degree and PhD in electrical engineering from the University of Michigan. She joined the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering at Valparaiso University in 2017, and she is in her fourth year as an assistant professor at Valpo. She is the co-advisor of the Muro branch of Eta Kappa Nu at Valpo, and she also serves as an officer in the local section of IEEE. She is a brilliant, dedicated, and incredibly creative teacher who finds ways to excite her students about every class that she teaches. In the past 2 years, she has published 3 pedagogical papers and has given 2 invited presentations. For her excellence as a teacher, her contributions to the scholarship of teaching, and her mentoring of undergraduate research students, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Jennifer Marley.
Thank you very much, and thank you so much for that very kind introduction. I'm so honored and humbled to be receiving this award tonight. As I think about receiving this, I can't help but think of all the many great educators along my path, and I wish that I could sit here and name them all to thank them individually. I've been very fortunate to have many great models, role models, and mentors that have truly helped me appreciate the value of education, without whom I certainly wouldn't be here tonight. I had wonderful teachers and mentors in my undergraduate days at North Carolina State and in graduate school at the University of Michigan. While they certainly helped me develop my technical skills, what I really remember most about them is their enthusiasm for and their dedication to their fields and to teaching. They really taught me what a difference caring about your students and your classes makes, and how much of an impact you can have in teaching, even when you maybe don't know that you're doing it. Most recently, I've been fortunate enough to add to that list of great educators members of the Valparaiso University community, and especially my friends and colleagues in the Electrical and Computer Engineering department. From day one, I have been welcomed. I always felt like my opinion mattered with the faculty and the students alike. I also have always felt that everybody genuinely wants me to succeed, and for that I'm so grateful. It's inspiring to be part of a team who cares as much about teaching as you all do. I can't thank you enough for giving me my start in teaching, for being available to brainstorm new ideas, and for motivating me to always be improving. Nothing that I could do or no new teaching methods would be possible without a wonderful group of students. And so I also really need to thank my students, particularly for how they've persevered in a very difficult year, but also for being willing to share when an activity is exciting to them or when a specific topic is exciting to them. When things go well, it's always great to see that on their faces and to see how much they really connect with topics. And I also really appreciate the fact that we have students that care enough to give feedback to improve courses and activities for future students. Finally, I, of course, would not be able to do any of this without the support of my family. And so I also have to thank them for pushing me to chase my goals and really helping me achieve them. Thank you all again for this great honor.
Thank you, Jennifer, and congratulations. Next, I have the honor of introducing Dr. Tim Kerswig, who will introduce our Distinguished Service Award recipient.
Thanks, Karen. I ask you all to look around our virtual room today, and I want you to think about our HKN family, which is composed of students, of alumni, award winners, engineers, friends, and think about all the thousands of service hours that our chapters do together every single year to serve the community and serve their university. And I ask you to think about your own experience as part of Eta Kappa Nu. Maybe it was professional guidance, maybe it was academic help, maybe it was just a sense of belonging and friendship. That maybe all of these things drew you to Eta Kappa Nu. And why I say that is that all of this, all of that we give and we take from Eta Kappa Nu would not exist today without the leadership, the vision, and the guidance of our Distinguished Service Award winner tonight. When Dr. Bruce Eisenstein was president of Eta Kappa Nu in 2008 and 2009, he recognized a very different Eta Kappa Nu than what we see today. Although still a proud organization and a preeminent electrical and computer engineering honor society in the United States, the financials of the organization were dwindling, and every year money was being lost. It was calculated that the organization would not last over 5 years. So Bruce realized that he had to act, and it might take some time, but he had to put a plan into place. And using his IEEE contacts, and by the way, he just happened to be the president of IEEE in 2000, he was able to develop a proposal where Eta Kappa Nu would merge with IEEE and receive a large $5 million donation from IEEE that is going to make the financial plan work. This was an aggressive plan, and well, let's be honest, and I'm sure Bruce will tell you, this was not universally supported by either Eta Kappa Nu or IEEE. Dr. Eisenstein had to work both sides of the merger proposal, securing an adequate number of Eta Kappa Nu chapters to pass a motion to merge with IEEE and secure enough IEEE board members to pass this type of motion. This was an extremely challenging effort, but Bruce got to work. So let's start on the Eta Kappa Nu side. The Eta Kappa Nu chapters debated the proposal for over 3 years, and many discussions were required with chapters to explain the proposal, the financial, the organization advantages to Eta Kappa Nu. A great deal of politicking took place. At personal intervention, Dr. Eisenstein was on the phone, and Dr. Eisenstein used to work together, and I know how hard he worked to talk to every single chapter and make sure they understood that this was good for them, but also good for Eta Kappa Nu. He was ultimately successful and received the majority approval of the merger in 2008. But that's just one half of the story. Now on to IEEE. The IEEE Board of Directors debated this proposal for over 2 years. After years of addressing concerns, answering questions, modifying the proposal, engaging the Board of Director members, the merger was approved by IEEE in 2009 and became effective September 1st, 2010. From this point on, then it was up to us. We all live this part of this story. IEEE Eta Kappa Nu not only has grown, but it's thrived. In the past 10 years, the active chapters went from maybe about 50 when Bruce was president to up to 250, maybe even more now. The number of inductees have grown from a couple hundred every year to over 3,000 in 2019. We have worked so hard to create a business plan that would ensure the financial stability of our organization. And one thing I'm incredibly proud of is Eta Kappa Nu has become global. This was all part of the agreement that Bruce put together. IEEE Eta Kappa Nu had to create these chapters outside of the United States, and we had to do this. And we've grown 10 plus more chapters in our outside regions of IEEE. When we see the accomplishments of our chapters tonight, we see our award winners tonight, it is so important to pause and celebrate Bruce's vision and effort to put Eta Kappa Nu in a financially stable position, such that all of us here today can make Eta Kappa Nu thrive. Without Bruce's vision, and I don't want to sound overly dramatic here at all, but this really would not be happening. We wouldn't be here in this Eta Kappa Nu setting tonight. So with all of this, I would like to congratulate Bruce. And Bruce is a mentor to me. Bruce is a friend to me, and I really value that. Bruce, we thank you for your lifelong dedication, your support of Eta Kappa Nu. It seems more than fitting in this 10th anniversary of the Eta Kappa Nu IEEE merger that we celebrate Bruce tonight. Bruce, congratulations as the winner of the 2020 IEEE Eta Kappa Nu Distinguished Service Award. We thank and celebrate you tonight, Bruce. Thank you.
Tim, I want to thank you for, first of all, the nomination. And secondly, I want to thank you for these really kind words. Listening to your description about how hard it was, I had to keep looking around me to make sure that it actually took place and that we were able to get it done, because it really was a three-year effort. Tim, I also want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, we really miss you here in Philadelphia. Unlike the W.C. Fields line, I wish you would rather be in Philadelphia, but I hope you're doing well where you are. You know, everyone around the university, maybe not everyone, but a lot of people would say that at every university, the best students are the ones that are in the electrical and computer engineering departments. And we all know how hard the curriculum is. We know how hard the students have to work to get an electrical and computer engineering degree. And Eta Kappa Nu honors the best of the best, because they're honoring those electrical and computer engineering students who have excelled both academically and, most importantly, in service to their university. IEEE has always had a very rich and robust awards program, and I'm honored to have served on the awards board a number of years and been on various awards committees, and I know and I knew at the time how important IEEE was to the awards process. As Tim pointed out, going back to 2008, I was president of the Eta Kappa Nu, and I was disturbed to see that this great organization, 100-year-old organization with all the eminent members and the distinguished alumni that it had produced, was on the verge of bankruptcy. We had just absolutely run out of money. It was not anyone's fault. It was a model of honor society membership that was very pertinent and very important in 1904 at the time of our founding, and had become severely antiquated as years had gone on, and there just was not a business model that had a path for survival for the organization. My experience with the awards board at IEEE also told me that IEEE had no award for students. We had tens of thousands of student members around the world, and there was no award for those students. So it seemed, I gotta say, it seemed obvious that what we should do is try and bring Eta Kappa Nu into the IEEE family. Well, it may have been obvious, but it wasn't easy. And it was a strange experience for me, because everyone that I spoke to about it, both on the Eta Kappa Nu side and on the IEEE side, was willing to say, this is a great idea, let's do it. But the actual mechanics of getting it done were just not there. And I'll explain a little bit about the problem. Eta Kappa Nu was incorporated in the state of Delaware. IEEE is incorporated in the state of New York. To merge two not-for-profit organizations from different states required a group of lawyers that to this day makes my head spin when I think about all the difficulties that we had to go through. Again, no one was really objecting. No one was saying you can't do it or it's hard to do or anything like that. It's just that it was just one thing after another. In addition, on the Eta Kappa Nu side, the chapters, particularly the founding chapters of Eta Kappa Nu, were very possessive of the independence of Eta Kappa Nu and being independent of the IEEE student branches, which were on the same campuses. And I understood that, and I made a number of visits, in-person visits to I can't tell you how many universities, but a lot of them. And I spoke to them, and I explained to them that yeah, you know, I get it. I understand what you're saying. I understand the reluctance of the merger, but on the other hand, look at the alternative. You know, you just can't stand on the principle of remaining independent if it's going to amount to a bankruptcy. And as Tim pointed out, and as we all know, we are here right now, and it worked. And 10 years later, I am just pleased to see that not only is IEEE Eta Kappa Nu thriving, but in addition, we have what was really one of my real wishes that would occur from the merger, and that is that we would have international, outside the U.S., membership. And that has happened. Perhaps Nancy can tell us how many out of the country memberships there are, but I know there are chapters in at least 10 different countries.
25. There's 25 groups. 25.
That's that really pleases me. I'm just so glad to hear that.
2 chapters in Spain this summer, so.
Well, great. I'm glad to hear that, Nancy. So in conclusion, I want to thank everyone for this award. It's a big honor to me, and I'm just so pleased that IEEE Eta Kappa Nu is around. It's thriving. It's doing well, and I just wish another 100 years at least. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you so much, Bruce. Thank you so much for all your efforts. And thank you, Jennifer, for being an inspiration and empowering young students to pursue engineering. You're both most deserving of these recognitions. Now, it gives me great pleasure to announce that tonight, for the first time, we will award the IEEE-HKN Asad M. Madni Outstanding Technical Achievement and Excellence Award. This is the Honor Society's highest achievement and first endowed award. It was made possible through a generous contribution from the IEEE-HKN Asad, Gawad Taj, and Jamal Madni Family Fund of the IEEE Foundation. The award is named for IEEE Life Fellow, IEEE-HKN Eminent Member, and the member of the U.S. National Academy of Engineering, Asad M. Madni. The IEEE-HKN Board of Governors established the award in 2019 to recognize and honor Dr. Asad M. Madni's nearly 50 years of technical and philanthropic accomplishments in his visionary leadership. I am truly honored to introduce Dr. Asad Madni one more time to present the inaugural award. Dr. Madni.
Thank you, Dr. Panetta. Ladies and gentlemen, I offer you my warm greetings from Los Angeles, California. I am delighted to present the inaugural Asad and Madni Outstanding Technical Achievement and Excellence Award. This award was established by the IEEE-HKN Board of Governors as its highest honor to recognize a practitioner in the IEEE technical fields of interest who has distinguished herself or himself with an invention, discovery, innovation, or development that has had worldwide impact. A selection committee comprised of world-renowned experts performed a thorough evaluation of the outstanding nominations that were received and unanimously selected Dr. Ming as the inaugural recipient. Rarely, if ever, there emerges an individual whose technical brilliance, generosity, a passionate devotion to education, and an uncompromising dedication to uplifting the human condition impacts humanity in a most profound manner. Dr. Ming is just such an individual. He has set an example as a visionary technologist and a billionaire philanthropist that others may aspire to emulate. This self-made entrepreneur came from very humble beginnings. He was born in Shenyang, China, and grew up in an upper middle-class family household. His mother was a teacher and his father was an electrical engineer. For fun, the young Ming used to work with his father in tearing apart radios and examining the circuits inside. But his idyllic childhood came to an abrupt end during the Cultural Revolution. And his family in 1970 had to move from Shenyang to a village near Panjin. This brought Ming's formal education to an abrupt halt for 7 years. During this period, he helped his father set up a power generation system for the village, and the two of them worked together to provide lighting for the ramshackled homes. This was the first rudimentary electrical engineering education that Ming had received. After the revolution in 1978, he resumed his formal studies at the South China University of Technology. However, his heart was always in Los Angeles, California, at the University of Southern California campus, where his uncle P.Y. Hseish in 1952 had received his master's in electrical engineering and had gone on to become a very successful engineer at TRW Corporation. The allure of Los Angeles, the beauty of the USC campus, and the proximity to the Pacific Rim and to Hollywood was too much for the young Ming to resist. So when his uncle offered to pay for his education at USC, Ming did not blink twice. And in 1980, at the age of 24, he came to USC to pursue his education in engineering. At that point, he was one of only 5 Chinese students at USC. He was totally awed by what he saw in the United States. In his own words, I quote, "I was totally awed to see the abundance of food, the grocery stores, the availability of goods, when in my village at that time, food was on ration. I was overwhelmed with the freeways, the number of cars, the high-rises, and the department stores. When at that point in my village, cars were very few and most people went to work on bicycles. And the computer, I had never seen a computer. And finally, when he stepped into the USC campus, he felt he had just entered heaven. In spite of the cultural and language barriers and challenges, he worked relentlessly and he worked hard and eventually graduated with brilliant colors, flying colors, and received a bachelor's and master's in electrical engineering. After this, there was no turning back for Ming. He went on to become one of the most brilliant technologists, visionary leaders, and philanthropists of our generation. He truly became a legend in his own time. Today, Ming Hseish is the founder, chairman, and CEO of the Temple City, California-based Fulgent Genetics, a leading genetic research and diagnostics company which focuses on cancer drug and personalized medicine treatments for cancer. Prior to Fulgent, he was the founder, chairman, and CEO of Cogent Systems in Pasadena, California. Here, he made some brilliant technical contributions and revolutionized the field of automated fingerprinting and biometrics. His algorithms and signal processing techniques and software that he developed allowed the reconstruction of images from incomplete images. Fulgent became one of the most successful biometrics companies in the world, and its software and services for biometrics and automatic fingerprint identification became ubiquitous in governments around the world, law enforcement agencies, industries, and commercial organizations. In 2010, 3M Corporation acquired Cogent for approximately $1 billion. In recognition of his extraordinary and outstanding technical achievements and visionary leadership, Dr. Hseish has been recognized with the highest national and international honors and awards. He was elected to the United States National Academy of Engineering, one of the highest accolades and honors accorded to an engineer or scientist in the United States. He was elected a fellow of the National Academy of Inventors, the highest honor accorded to an academic innovator. He was awarded the Ellis Island Medal of Honor, one of the highest civilian honors in our nation that is recognized by both houses of Congress. He's also the recipient of 6 U.S. patents and 3 honorary doctorate degrees, including one from his alma mater, USC. He currently serves on the board of Fortinet Corporation, a publicly traded company, as well as on the boards of the University of Southern California and Fudan University. Ming Hseish became a legendary name in our industry. But one thing that really needs to be pointed out is his success did not transform his heart. He was still the young Ming Hseish at heart. He never ever forgot the education that he received at USC. And he never ever forgot the great opportunities that the United States had offered to him. And since 2004, he has donated well in excess of $100 million to high schools, universities, research organizations, government agencies, and hospitals, including USC, Stanford University, University of New Haven, West Virginia University, Los Angeles Children's Hospital, and the National Academy of Engineering. In particular, I would like to highlight the 2 transformational gifts that he made to his alma mater. The first was a $35 million gift that he made to the USC Electrical Engineering Department. This was the largest departmental naming gift in the history of the United States. It established the Ming Hseish Department of Electrical Engineering. Today, that department is one of the strongest and the most prestigious EE departments in our nation. He also made a $50 million transformational gift to establish the USC Institute for Engineering and Medicine for Cancer Research. This institute promises to make USC a national and international leader in translational
cancer research that bridges the gap between basic science, engineered devices, synthesized molecules and materials, and medicine. I could go on and on regarding Dr. Hseish' contributions and the accolades he's received, but that would take the better part of the ceremony. So I will respectfully stop now and ask Dr. Hseish to say a few words. Thank you.
Many thanks for Dr. Madni's introduction and all his very kind words. Today, I'm very humbled and very honored to accept IEEE-HKN's highest award, which is also carrying Dr. Madni's name. It is a tremendous honor and recognition for my engineering career. It is also a great honor and privilege to know Dr. Madni over the years. He inspires and motivates everyone around him to follow his footsteps with his outstanding technical contributions and philanthropy. 40 years ago, I came to U.S. with bare hands to continue my college education in electrical engineering. It was the education which broadened my knowledge and enriched my thinking and empowered my vision, and made me to be the recipients of the most prestigious IEEE-HKN Asad and Madni Outstanding Technical Achievement and the Excellent Award. I would like to use this opportunity to appreciate Professor Sri Narayani and his team for the nomination. I would like also appreciate the Professor Frank Zhang and HKN Award and Recognition Committee for the selection. I would like to also congratulate two other outstanding candidates to receive the Outstanding Teaching Award and Outstanding Service Award. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hseish. And now, time for...
So Karen, we have one more recognition we have. So on our 116th year this year, very exciting year, we want to present these key chapters with the recognition they deserve. This key chapter program recognizes chapters that participate in activities identified as the best practices of all successful chapters. Each chapter has the potential to earn the key chapter recognition. Those best practices include reporting, inducting members, electing officers, and providing necessary updates on their activities as the core requirements. Additional requirements include attending conferences like the HKN Experience or the Student Leadership Conference, contributing or writing for the Bridge, reaching out to our alumni, doing different things in our communities, and more. This year, 53 of our chapters earned the key chapter recognition. So let's take a moment to celebrate them and congratulate them on their successes and achievements of getting this high recognition. And enjoy the video.
Thank you so much. Wow. Congratulations to all of our winners. That's amazing to see all the great work that they've done. Thank you. Tonight, in closing, I want to thank you all for joining us today for the celebration of all things HKN stands for: scholarship, character, and attitude. I congratulate and commend Dr. Ming, Dr. Bruce Eisenstein, Dr. Jennifer Marley, and our key chapters. I would like to recognize the contributions of the IEEE-HKN Board of Governors to the success we've had in 2020 and for their tireless dedication to our members and chapters. Next, I want to say thank you to our sponsors, especially DigiKey Electronics, Mouser Electronics, ANSYS, Southern California Edison, IEEE USA, Tufts University, and Wentworth Institute Technology for helping support our event. Our eminent members, Len Kleinrock, Bob Metcalf, and of course, Dr. Asad Madni, shared their brilliance and advice with our members. And on behalf of the Board of Governors, I thank them for it. And to all our speakers and panelists who brought our sessions to life and encouraged our students, I say thank you, and we hope to work with you again very soon. Finally, this event would not exist if it were not for the dedication of the HKN Experience Conference Team, led by our HKN Governor, Jim Conrad. Program Chair Sean Haynes put his conference expertise to good use, and I thank our Governor Michael Benson and Vice Chair of Membership and Chapter Committee, Kyle Lady, for their technical and wizardry in producing this event. And student governors Katie Brinker and Sandro Sartoni for the incredible PR and social media promotion for all of the events. IEEE activity staff members Joanna Perez, Regina Sampson, and Lynn Balby worked behind the scenes to ensure a seamless experience for our presenters and our audience. And now, to our IEEE-HKN staff, I thank Alice Balashova for her gaming and video production genius, our own Stacy Bersani for her amazing organizational skills, attention to detail, and for delivering an awesome HKN experience. And lastly, to my dear friend, Nancy Austin. Nancy's passion and commitment to HKN shows no bounds. She's a constant source of inspiration for me and our members and her staff and all who know her. If I could, I would call for a standing ovation. Actually, I'll stand up there. Like this mini stand up. So Nancy, here's to you and all your work. It's appreciated more than you could ever know. With that, I close the 2020 IEEE-HKN Awards and Recognition Ceremony. May you all stay safe and well. Here's to a time when we can all be together and celebrate the honor society we love.